Hi there, everyone. Welcome to this week's solo episode on the Guestlist podcast. I am your host, Steve Guest, and today's podcast is it's centered around mentors, coaches, and having the right people around you to enable you to reach your potential and to be able to push yourself to higher levels of working achievements, help you attain those goals. And I think the importance around that and perhaps what we associate with mentors and the various forms that they can come in. I've had conversations over the last few weeks about the differences between mentors and coaches. They come in all shapes and guises and various forms. And I think we as individuals will quite happily gravitate towards the areas that we perhaps find the most beneficial. So that could be literary mentors or coaches, or people where you perhaps go to advice. It might be podcasts, it might be YouTube channels. It could be one-to-one coaching programs. It could be group sessions, seminars, whatever it might be, whatever it is that helps you to get to where you go to or want to get to. These are the areas that I want to talk about. And I think if I look at my journey, I would perhaps say probably since about 2012, I'd never really seen the importance of investing in myself and perhaps understanding the benefits of personal development and actually collaborating and getting involved or working with other individuals that perhaps have trodden the path before me, and therefore have made the mistakes that I'm potentially going to make, or made the successes that I want to go and do and go and achieve. And I think it's a progressive journey, and I think mentors and coaches changes over time. My first mentor that I actually paid for and invested my own money was when I was looking to get into Forex and FX commodity trading back in 2012. And I invested a fair bit of money really for a 12-month coaching and mentorship program, which was very good. And I certainly learned a great deal about the world of FX trading and spot trading, day trading, and the ins and outs of bull and bear markets and all the bits in between. And it was very good. And it was a good life lesson as well, because I think if you start to invest, if you start to pay for things such as mentorship and coaching, then you've got that investment there. So you're more likely to stay committed and remain committed. And that in effect then allows you to get the most out of it, because you're going to be more determined to make sure that your money goes in the right direction. And that's not saying that the free coaching, free mentoring, or working and reading through books, watching YouTube channels doesn't have the same effect. I think just for me, if you've got some skin in the game, it pushes me to make sure that I get a better return. And I think the FX trading started me on a personal journey of personal development. It meant that I would continue to invest in my experiences and learning journey and education, and really to start looking and trying to find people that I wanted to be like. I wanted to be in the position that they have got to. And I started to seek out individuals that I wanted to spend time with. And it's a very important area, really. And I think not many of us ever stop to think, who do we surround ourselves with? Are we surrounded by people that elevate us to new levels? Are we surrounding ourselves with people that are constructive, that challenge, that lift us up to new levels of working, but also motivate, empower, and lift us up when we're having our rubbish days and the days where we actually don't want to go out and achieve? Or do we surround ourselves with the people that actually drag us down, and they don't necessarily have our best intentions at heart? Do they stop you from going out and achieving? Do they put those doubts in your mind that perhaps stop you from going down the path or the journey that you want to do. And I think it's a personal choice, and we have to be self-aware, and we have to have the ability to look at the people around us and understand whether they're good for us or not. And I think from a growth mindset perspective, and the journey I've had probably over the last 10 years or so, it's having the ability to seek out people that are in a better position than me, people that are more knowledgeable. I want to surround myself with people that I want to be around, that actually make you want to gravitate towards bigger and better, and push to be higher than you were today, for what you look to gain tomorrow. And I think you've got to have that. It's almost like a training mechanism in your mindset that if you keep pushing for more, if you keep going out there and looking to be surrounded by empowering, motivated, successful people, then you're naturally going to keep pushing towards that area for yourself, for your own personal development as well. And I've made a few notes here in terms of how I feel mentors and coaches have affected me. Now, over the years, I've read a lot of books. At one point, I was reading 1, 2, maybe 3 books a month. And they're always centered around the same sorts of topics. It was about growth. It was about entrepreneurialism and successful. There was lots of autobiographies of wealthy people, wealthy individuals, successful business people. And whilst a lot of the stories kind of followed the same sort of path, what it started to do was the same integral messages of success and the way people lived their lives and what they looked to go and achieve. The messages were very similar, but it was perhaps read in a different format, or it was explained in a different way. And I think what you do is you just start to get that cemented into your thought process, that you almost feel like you're reenacting their journeys. And it becomes a part of you. And that then obviously ensues greater success because you're following a path that has already been trodden before. And I think I've had one-to-one coaches. I've had business coaches on the property side of my entrepreneurial journey. I've had accountability mentors that have helped me invest in property. As I've said, FX trading. I've had literary mentors and coaches. But you've also got your friends and colleagues and individuals around you. If you're in support groups, or you're perhaps in WhatsApp groups where you've all got a common goal or a common grounding and you can share ideas. One of the main functions of setting up the free Recruitment Mastery Facebook group was to empower and I suppose collect a group of individuals that all have the same goal. We can all help each other and we can motivate and share best practice and best ideas. And I think surrounding yourself with those sorts of environments can only be a positive thing, providing you surround yourself with the right people and those positive individuals. Having a mentor and the ability to consistently seek out individuals that can help drag you through the tough times, but actually get you to the goals and levels that you look to attain. Having a mentor and a coach helps you to make the correct decisions to reach your goals. It helps to build your own self-confidence and develop you as an individual that allows you to remain focused. And one of the big key words here is they get you to be accountable. I've been on many seminars, webinars, groups where there's multiple individuals. And whilst it's all great and the learning can be great, and obviously you're listening and you're taking notes and your education is improving, but without the accountability element of any of these sessions, anything to do with coaching or mentoring, it kind of falls to the wayside because you have to be answerable either to yourself in a written form, within a group, or to an accountability partner or mentor. And these can be colleagues, friends, family. They don't have to be paid for processes, but having that accountability, whether it's once a week, once a month, will allow you to progress far quicker than not having that in place. Having a coach and a mentor, to me, it helps me improve my skills. As we've said, self-confidence. It enlightens and enables you to improve the chances of success for the goals and growth that you're looking to gain. And that's obviously important to make sure you've got the right coach and mentor in place. And there's no shame in speaking to a number of people to make sure you get the one that you most fit with, and the one that you feel you can gain the most value from. It's important for that, because you've got to want to work with that person or that individual. Coaches and mentors can give you an element of perspective. And quite often, if you have the right person in place, they will challenge you in the areas you need to be challenged in. But actually, they'll also be able to assess where your weaknesses are, or where the areas are that can have the greatest impact, that you may need to take on other members of staff. It might be that you need to delegate certain elements of what you do too, because your strengths are best placed somewhere else. The coaches and mentors that I've had have encouraged, they have empowered, they've lifted me to higher levels. And I would never be not to have somebody like that around me, because I think you're going to get to your goals far quicker if you allow other people that have already got there to help you get there. Coaches and mentors can help you identify and achieve better goals. They can see where you need to improve, where quite often we'll choose to ignore the areas that we're weak on, or gloss over because we're frightened of admitting weakness or frailty in any particular area. We call it discipline or tough love. The fact that we need that arm around our shoulder sometimes, and we need the ability to have the constructive feedback and to be challenged. They can offer that sounding board advice. So what sounds great in our heads sometimes, and you just think it's the best idea that you've ever come up with. And then actually when you say it out loud to someone, the realization of the concept or idea that doesn't quite fit or work, having somebody to be able to say, not quite sure that has the legs to go anywhere, can be really good, because it will stop you spending time in areas that actually you don't need to spend your time. Coaches and mentors can also be really good, how would you term them, connectors. So they may well be in touch with people that are specialists in the field that you need the specialism in, and they can connect you to other individuals that can get you to new levels. Ultimately, they can help you avoid costly mistakes, which is certainly, again, a conversation worth having. And I think many a time you want to avoid the costly mistakes and get to your goals quicker. Who better else than to go and speak to somebody that's already arrived at the place where you're looking to get to? And I think if I look back over the last 10, 12 years, the journey has been absolutely awesome. And I think over those years, I've had various coaches and mentors, and you do outgrow coaches and mentors, and the mentors also will outgrow working with you. And it's important to stay self-aware and acknowledge at points where you feel like you've outgrown that journey and you need to progress to a higher level. They say when you're in groups or mentoring rooms, if you are the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You want to have that constant craving to advance and improve. And you want to be going to meetings where you feel perhaps like the inferior one, and perhaps you don't have as much to offer as the other people around you, because you want to go to those rooms and be like the sponge, the proverbial sponge that sits there and consumes knowledge and education to be able to allow you to advance. And it is a journey. And I think you've got to see it as a personal development journey where you don't know everything, and I don't know everything. And I think going with that sort of humility and empathy, and removing the ego, which is quite often certainly there within the world of recruitment, that actually it can be really fun, it can be really exciting. And I think having people around you that are helping you get there actually makes for a really, really enjoyable journey, and it makes it all fun. Even the darker down days can be a little bit easier having the right people around you. So I hope you've really enjoyed that podcast. I just wanted to have a talk about it. It's certainly been a topic of conversation this week. I'd love to know your comments and your thoughts. If you've got any thoughts over mentors and coaches, if you'd like to talk to me about how I can potentially help you, then please get in touch. And I look forward to sharing some time with you during the next podcast episode. Take care.